But the fact that he tries to act like he's this nice guy that's caring and doing all these things for people, he's not. He's a bad person.
You know, I told him the other day, maybe it was yesterday or the day before, I said, man, once you get past this fight and you dominate this fight, they can't deny you fighting for a world title, you know. At 160, I believe he can be a world champion.
Chris Eubank Jr. isn't shouting this time. He doesn't have to. His calm carries more menace than any roar. Reacting to Conor Benn's latest training footage, Eubank's words weren't theatrical. They were deliberate, measured, and cold. "Do you expect anything different in the rematch?" he asked rhetorically. "There better be, because if not..."
Different in the rematch from him.
There better be something different, because if not, it's going to be the same outcome.
That wasn't hype. It was a declaration, a promise spoken with chilling composure. Eubank spoke like a man who has already written the ending, certain that history will repeat itself. His warning of being more vicious wasn't bravado, it was precision disguised as restraint. It's the stillness that makes
that however ferocious and relentless I was in that first fight, regardless of rehydration clauses and weights and whatever else they're going to throw at me, I will be even more vicious in that ring November.
Him dangerous. The quiet confidence. The sense that he's already dissected his opponent long before fight night. Watching Benn's training clips, Eubank didn't see growth. He saw desperation. Every punch, every head movement, every burst of intensity felt forced. To him, Benn's energy screamed overcompensation. Not evolution. The true threat lies not in Eubank's words but in his composure. That calm has always been his sharpest weapon. He's been here before, breaking down men who believed that effort alone could bridge the gulf between ambition and experience. Benn's fire excites fans, but to Eubank it's just noise.
Think about what he does or what he can do. You know, he used his tactics well, he used his weight, he used his size, and he come on strong in the later rounds because I felt like he knew he was losing the fight. And yeah, he done well. He done what he needed to do to win. Because ultimately, people saying it's a robbery, saying it's this. It wasn't a robbery. The better man won on the night, and that was due to
before the inevitable. Conor Benn may appear humble in interviews, but beneath that controlled exterior, frustration lingers. He's still fighting ghosts. The weight of defeat, the shadow of scandal, the hunger for redemption. Admitting mistakes while masking them as lessons is a dangerous balance. In boxing, self-doubt is fatal. It's blood in the water, and Eubank can smell it. When the bell rings...
He ain't coming back down to 160, so it's got a very short lifespan, this rematch. It's got to be done. The sooner the better. If I'm being brutally honest, the sooner the rematch happens, in my opinion, it favours Conor Benn, because he's the younger fighter who's took less damage and has had a much lesser career with much less experience. For someone like Chris Eubank Jr., it's going to take a while to turn around, and it's going to take a while to recover, because that was a hard fight for him. He was shook a number of times. He felt the shot.
He'll weaponize Benn's hesitation. Every flicker of uncertainty will become a target. Every overreach, every emotional swing, punished. Tony Bellew recognized it too. His breakdown cut straight to the truth. Recovery and mentality separate contenders from survivors. Benn's youth gives him a physical edge.
What does it do to Conor Benn's career trajectory if he does lose again?
Look, I mean, you never want back-to-back defeats. Obviously, we know the future is at 147. We've got Lewis Crocker here. You know, there's a shot at the world title. But losing is a disaster for Conor. Yeah, I can dress it up to you and say, it's up at middleweight, it doesn't really matter, now we go. But that's not what Conor Benn's about. You see a different Conor Benn in there today, because all he's focused on is the performance and the fight and getting...
You admitted, but mentally, Eubank thrives. The veteran has endured the kind of wars that teach patience, the kind that carve discipline into your bones. Benn, for all his fire, is still learning to survive under real pressure. Experience can outlast youth when the heat rises. And when November 15th comes, that lesson may hit hard. Eddie Hearn's concern only underscores what's at stake. For him, this isn't just another fight to promote, it's the survival of a career. Another loss, he's hinted, could shatter Benn's credibility entirely. Eubank, meanwhile, has already proven his worth. Benn is still chasing validation. It's a sharp contrast. One man fights to remind the world who he is, the other fights to prove he belongs. This rematch...
the fight wasn't a letdown because it was a good fight, but as an event, you won't get a better event than that, and they'll have to go some actually to surpass that, or even equal that. Let's just hope they get the same turnout in terms of the numbers, people going through the live gate and watching that fight, because it was a great event. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. You won't get world title fights that actually are a better event.
Isn't just a date. It's a crossroads, a collision of legacy, pride, and redemption. Former world champion Duke McKenzie summed it up best. Benn versus Eubank isn't just a fight. It's an event that electrifies British boxing. Their first clash reignited a family rivalry and drew fans from every corner of the sport. Now the sequel promises to be even bigger. Emotions are raw, reputations are fragile, and the stakes have never been higher. McKenzie's right, belts don't matter here. Rankings don't matter. This is about identity. Two men carrying names soaked in boxing history, meeting again under the brightest lights. The atmosphere will be electric before a single punch is thrown. British boxing thrives on rivalries like
the last performance of Chris. I thought, you've got nothing left. You've got no, there's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap,
yes,
get an outcome in his second fight?
this? Moments that remind fans why the sport still commands the nation's pulse. And yet, amid all the hype, Johnny Nelson raised a question few dare to ask: has Chris Eubank Jr. already peaked? Nelson pointed to time, to the toll of training camps, the grind of brutal fights, and the strain of weight fluctuations. Eubank's sharpness may have dulled, he mused. Benn's youth could tilt the scales. It's a fair concern. Eubank's style has always relied on timing more than speed, and timing, like reflexes, fades. But what he loses in physical sharpness, he gains in control, composure, and experience. While Benn burns hot, Eubank burns steady. One reckless charge could see Benn walk straight into a trap.
At this stage, Eubank can do a lot more else. You know, he'll try and do what he did, you know, on fight night. It's whether he can go to the well again. I don't think so. If the fight becomes as hard and if it has the pace and ferocity of a first fight, I'd be very surprised and I'd be amazed if Eubank.
Nelson's analysis makes the fight even more fascinating. Is this the night when youth finally overtakes experience? Or will Eubank remind the world that precision still beats power, and patience still conquers pressure? Dave Coldwell echoed the sentiment. The question isn't whether Eubank still wants it, it's whether his body can keep up with his will. Eubank has been through countless wars, going to the well again. Coldwell warned, isn't about fitness, it's about how deep you can dig when fatigue sets in. Eubank's career has always been defined by resilience. He's survived punches that would have ended others. Yet Coldwell's words linger. If this fight turns brutal, if it becomes a battle of attrition, Eubank's durability could face its hardest test yet. Still, one truth remains. If his body matches his mind, he's dangerous until the final bell.
Would sell out any stadium in the UK. I was going to see it in the world there, but probably not in America because that many people wouldn't fly over. It would sell out a lot. But the fight location still hasn't been announced yet, but I do know that it's going to be on September.
Not everyone believes this will end cleanly. Tony Jeff described the rematch as dangerous, emotional, and deeply personal. Both fighters are carrying more than ambition. They're dragging pride, pain, and the weight of family legacy into the ring. For Eubank, it's about proving he's still elite. For Benn, it's about silencing the chorus of critics who say he doesn't belong at this level. Jeff's right, this isn't just a fight, it's psychological warfare. Every round will test composure, control, and courage. One moment of recklessness could swing everything. November 15th won't just decide a winner, it may decide who still has a future. The victor walks forward, the loser may never fully recover. Even Dave Allen weighed in, pointing to the often overlooked rehydration clause, the invisible hand that shapes so many modern fights. These clauses distort the balance, he said, and that's what makes this rivalry even more intriguing. Eubank has...
It's just not safe. The term rehydration clause don't sound safe. Rehydration clause, just don't agree with it. Eubank's been up at super middleweight, and now they're going to drag him down to near light middleweight.
Always been the bigger man, built on strength and toughness. Benn thrives on speed and aggression, but forced weight limits change everything. When you drain a fighter, reflexes dull and power fades. If Benn's camp plays with those numbers again, Eubank will treat it as psychological warfare, another attempt to weaken him before the first punch is thrown. This isn't just a rematch, it's chess disguised as combat. Every detail, every stare, every clause, every pound on the scale matters, and as emotions begin to boil over, it's clear Conor Benn's rage isn't gone. It's just waiting for the right trigger. His words cut deep, controlled, venomous, and deliberate. This isn't promotional banter, it's personal. Conor Benn isn't chasing just victory, he's chasing revenge. He wants to erase humiliation, but emotion is a dangerous weapon. Anger can sharpen focus, yet it can also blind judgment. And Eubank
was on the fight. So for me it was like, going into the fight, that was my aim, was to hurt him.
Right.
And I hurt him. And that was my plan. I'm not going in there to give him a cut.
More than anyone, thrives in chaos. When tempers rise, his calm becomes lethal. Benn's fury might ignite the arena, but it could also lead him straight into Eubank's trap. The calmer fighter often wins. Still, if Benn can channel that rage into precision, the result could be explosive. The danger lies in the fine line between passion and panic, a line Benn must walk perfectly. Sky Sports veteran Adam Smith put it best: "This isn't just another fight, it's a career-defining night for both men." For Chris Eubank Jr., victory could reopen the door to one final world title run, one last climb toward greatness. For Benn, defeat isn't an option. He's fighting not only for redemption but for recognition, to prove he belongs among Britain's elite. Smith's words capture a generational duel. Eubank represents the old guard, refined, composed, and mentally unbreakable.
I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Bomac, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy...
Benn embodies the new era, raw, emotional, and explosive. If Eubank wins, he restores order and reasserts his dominance. If Benn prevails, he signals a generational shift that could redefine British boxing for years to come. Tony Sims, Benn's trainer, believes that shift has already begun. To him, this isn't just a fight, it's personal vindication. He's rebuilt Benn from a reckless brawler into a more strategic, disciplined puncher. Sims insists the camp's focus has been relentless, preparation fueled by redemption. Team Benn, he says, is sharper, calmer, and more determined than ever to rewrite the narrative. But beneath that confidence lies immense pressure. Benn isn't only fighting Eubank, he's fighting public perception, past controversy, and the weight of expectation. Sims calls this rematch historic, and he's right. It's not...
I think he'll get a lot more people wanting to tune into that fight, and obviously we're going to win the next fight, and but yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting Conor Benn ready to fight, and it's going to be historic.
About titles or rankings, it's about pride, family, and legacy. Veteran analyst Barry Jones brought everything into focus with chilling realism. Both men paid a price in their first encounter, he noted, and the rematch will demand even more. His assessment is brutal but honest. If the fight goes long, Eubank's experience and conditioning give him the advantage. Benn's aggression could win him the early rounds, but wars favor the veteran. Unless Benn lands something decisive, he risks being systematically broken down. Jones's insight exposes the truth beneath the spectacle. This isn't just about who wins, it's about who survives. The outcome will reveal how much each man truly has left to give. As tension builds and the storylines converge, British boxing braces for another unforgettable night. Eubank enters as the colder, sharper...
So this fight can only harm him, because that was a hard fight, the first one. This one will be another hard fight, whoever wins, unless there's a real freak occurrence, not a freak occurrence, unless someone gets caught with the shot really early, then it's going to be a hard night, which you still have to make Eubank the favourite again, like I did the first time. I mean...
For tactician, poised and dangerous. Across from him stands Benn, emotional, relentless, and desperate for redemption. This isn't merely a rematch, it's a clash of eras, of bloodlines, of pride. If Eubank wins, he reclaims control and strengthens his claim for one last shot at glory. If Benn pulls off the upset, it marks a new beginning, the torch passing from the old guard to the new. Every second will carry the weight of history, legacy, and unfinished business. November 15th isn't just another fight night, it's Judgment Day.